will speak to you about cutting bars of iron. What do I mean? Do you see the chain that is around your hands? Or do you see gates shut before you? But you will say to me that you do not have any chains around your hands. Neither can you see chain gates blocked around you. But I want you to look again. But this time, look with the eyes of your mind, the eyes of your heart. What is blocking you? What is stopping you? What are those bars? What are those gates before you? What is that mountain? My name is Hope Chanda, and I come from the Copper Belt. When I was younger, my father always called my name when he returned home from work. He was my first example of an entrepreneur. And he came home almost always about 7 p.m. And when he called my name, Chanda, he said, "Are you awake?" And I would say, "No, Daddy, I'm still sleeping." But this is me answering. Remember, I always waited for that time when my father would arrive, and I'll go to him, take off his shoes, sit on his laps, and then we chat as if we were friends. When it was time for me to get to secondary school, I was not available to select my school because I had gone on holiday, and my father made the exact choice of school that I had wanted because we had spoken about it. And it made me realize that my father listened to me. But then, death took him away because by the time I was getting into secondary school, few months, my father passed. Now that was my first bar of iron. My mother stepped up, stepped in, 2-in-1, took up the responsibility, and then our bond grew in double measure because she's the one that I could confide in as a teenager navigating through the harsh realities of growing up. We shared a room. We spoke about so many things. But this too did not last. Before I could complete my secondary school, she was gone. Now that was a blow. The gates were shut before me, and I didn't know what I was going to do. Here I am, a young teenager, trying to navigate life, and now I do not have anybody that could hold my hand to get through this. What happened to me? What is going to happen to me? I tried to fight my problem by trying to fit in with my friends whose parents were still there. It ended up spiraling into bad behavior, not necessarily very bad, luckily, but I could see myself going down the route of a behavior that I was not accustomed to. And what now influenced that was that I wanted to fit in. All my friends had parents, or so I thought. And all my friends did not have problems, or so I thought. But no, everybody is struggling with something. Everybody has that bar of iron that they need to cut. So then, my results for the end of year tests proved to me that I was going down the road that I did not want to travel. My results did not reflect my abilities. And when I looked at my results, I was very sure my mom, my dad would never want to see those results. So, by the time I was getting into grade 12, I made up my mind. I said, I will not sit at the back of the class. I will sit in the front row so that the teacher will see me and I will be able to concentrate and move and break out of this barrier that I'm feeling is closing in on me. Can you relate to my story? So what did I do? Something within me said, get up. It's not over until God says it's over. You can do this. You can get up, dust yourself, ace your grades, and when you make it with A grades, you will make sure that nobody will be able to deny to help you. And I did. 8 distinctions. And I made it into engineering school. If you look at me now, I see myself as somebody that has come from a past that could not define me. I had to cut the bars of iron. I had to break down what I call the gates of bronze. And since then, I've been breaking those barriers. I've been breaking those limitations, and I have been going on to take up challenges that I could never have imagined. Would you think this is a sad story? I would say no. Remember, every cloud has a silver lining. Perhaps if I did not have that challenge, I would not have taken myself so seriously to work as hard as I did. I could have been comfortable because everything was okay around me. So I look at this now as a happy story. You will relate with me. Your story may not be exactly as mine, but what I know. And when you think about it, did anyone bully you? Did anyone body shame you? Did anyone speak to you in a way that destroyed your self-esteem? And now you cannot stand up for yourself. You cannot do what you thought you would do. I am here to inspire you and to encourage you to see the bigger picture. And I will share with you the tips that I have used through my life to navigate my way around the mountains that I face. When I entered engineering school, I found myself in a class that is male-dominated. Only 3 girls. By the end of our school, we had only 2 girls. But guess what? Even with that, I had made up my mind from what I had experienced earlier, and the university decided to pick me as a staff development fellow because I was among the best students in my class. And not only that, the project that I had done, the company for which I did that project decided to call me back and give me a job. So I had a choice. The doors were opening before me. I could choose to be a lecturer, or I could choose to work in an industry. And I chose to work in an industry. What tips will I give you? Number 1, settle it in your heart. If you decide, you will do it because that decision is coming from your heart. Number 2, find someone to hold your right hand. A mentor, a relative, a support system, siblings. Those will guide you so that you will get the encouragement that you will need to break down every gate that is shut before you and to go open those doors. Number 3, don't complain. Avoid negativity at all costs. Every situation may sound unique to you at the time that you are going through it, but remember, everybody is fighting a war of some sort at every particular time. You also need to realize that the power lies within you. If you encourage yourself to think positively about every situation, you will realize that it is actually easier to overcome. And my last tip is that search through the dark areas for those treasures, for hidden riches. What does that mean? That is the definition of work. Provide a solution to a challenge that you see around you. And when I had enough experience in my engineering of 10 years, I decided to launch out and found Mimshark Engineering Consultants in the year 2016. I jumped into this situation and there was a barrier before me, an entry barrier to start with, because I am entering an environment that is dominated by male. But when I looked around me, there was a solution to provide. This was the first Zambian company to provide high voltage electrical engineering consultancy services in terms of power systems and in terms of project management. So with that, we managed to break through that barrier, and we settled ourselves, and now we are working with the Ministry of Energy to provide a solution for the energy crisis that we have just had. And by God's grace, we managed to convene the International Energy Forum for Africa, at which His Excellency, the President of Zambia, officiated as the guest of honor. Now, that was a highlight of my life. You too can provide a solution to the challenges that the environment around you are facing. Do not concentrate on that limiting belief that you have grown with. Do not concentrate on that insecurity that is holding you back. Get up. Dust yourself. Believe that you will do it. And indeed, you will do it. You will break that barrier. You will break that gate of bronze that is ahead of you. Here we are, sitting and listening to one another, learning one or two things. Whatever you have got from here, use that as your stepping stone to ensure that you cut that bar of iron. Thank you.